What's going on, guys? Welcome to Everything Always. My name's Michael Roman, aka Allfires. Now, I know I joke sometimes and suspiciously that Marvel really feels like they're behind their own leaks and rumor mill, and while again there may be a tad of truth to that because we know they work directly with the Hollywood Reporter and Deadline sometimes, more times than not it's just coincidence, like this week where Agatha All Along finally hit Disney Plus, and we've been getting a ton of news about a Scarlet Witch solo project. Now, if you've been following the channel, our latest update was 6 days ago when, in Production Weekly, Scarlet Witch was listed as a project in production right above Spider-Man 4. And while we've talked about the accuracy of that source in the past as it relates to revealing Marvel projects, and it's a good one, it's just that sometimes some of the jobs that are being looked up for those projects are so early in development, it's not really a good litmus of the timetable, even though that report was accompanied by the rumor mill chiming in and saying they were looking to film next year for a 2026 release. Well, not so fast, and in the last 6 days, we've actually had a major update from one of the most trusted industry insider sources, and then coincidentally, the writer on WandaVision also talking about the opportunity and or the chance to do a Wanda solo project. We're going to break it all down, the latest industry insider update for the project and what Jack Schaefer said about a solo Scarlet Witch project. But first, if you could grab the subscribe button. We do daily Marvel content at the channel, and that's all we do. So if that's for you, hit the sub button, leave a comment down below. That automatically enters you to win our ongoing PS5 giveaway. The next one is for the finale of Agatha All Along. So again, just be a sub, leave a comment if you want, stick around to the end of the video, we get into all the giveaway stuff again there. Now real quick, I think it's only fair to mention that it may feel like all this Scarlet Witch solo movie stuff is out of the blue, but it's really not. Basically, since the end of Multiverse of Madness, fans have been saying that they want her back, and there have been several industry insiders who have said she's going to return in a movie of her own. It's just that we haven't heard anything about this in quite some time. Now again, 6 days ago, Production Weekly actually listed Scarlet Witch as in production alongside Spider-Man 4. Then we got an update 2 days ago from trusted industry insider Daniel RPK. You guys can follow him over on Twitter at RPK News, where he did one of his major updates for Marvel on his Patreon, which included this update quote: "The Scarlet Witch movie is not expected to begin filming anytime soon, but it is currently in development." So first of all, we're getting a confirmation that the Scarlet Witch project is being worked on by Marvel, but it's also pretty much confirming that it's about as early in pre-production as it can be. So even though it was listed in Production Weekly, they hire people all along the process. There could be several jobs as far as doing concept art that are super early in the process. So there's really no telling what Marvel's timeline could be for this movie, but I think it basically confirms that it's something post Marvel's Avengers Secret Wars. Not that she might not be back for that. I think there's basically no chance they don't involve Scarlet Witch in Secret Wars. I've just talked about this before. There's only limited real estate in and around those two Avengers films, and it would be a real departure from the projects we've been kicking around, stuff like Thor 5, Doctor Strange 3, Spider-Man 4. It would be real weird if all of a sudden it was Scarlet Witch in between the two Avengers movies. And again, let's not forget, having her solo movie in the middle of what is the Mutant Saga would tie her into the new team, and there are a ton of comic storylines I would love to see explored with their crossover with the X-Men. So I just think that there's a real good chance that this is a Mutant Saga film and something for years down the road from now. Now, as I mentioned, and incidentally, the writer Jack Schaefer on WandaVision, who also worked on Multiverse of Madness and has worked with Marvel now on a ton of stuff in this corner of the MCU, recently said that she is hopeful to see more of Elizabeth Olsen's Wanda Maximoff in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. She said that pretty much point blank, but it wasn't any more than that. No confirmation of what's been going on, just that she's hopeful it happens, and you would guess she's probably one of the few people who are privy to the official goings-on of the pre-development for that film. Now, if you watched Agatha All Along, you did not have to get very deep into episode 1 to be absolutely inundated with imagery of the Scarlet Witch, and while I think that may have been more of a byproduct of where Agatha was at the beginning of the show and coming out of her spell, we still don't really know where the Witch's Road is going to lead for Agatha and what it's ultimately going to mean when she regains her power. I think also, well, I haven't had a chance to talk about this theory here at the channel, but the guy in the bookcase who was like, yeah, they're all gone and she's gone with her, I think that that's Mephisto. I also think that who we think is Billy and Wiccan is working for Mephisto, and the ultimate goal is to resurrect the Scarlet Witch because they're after the Darkhold theory for a different video, but I'm trying to put the pieces together with what they gave us in the very first episode. And I know mentioning Mephisto on YouTube automatically invokes Eric Voss, and it is pretty silly that here we are all these years later with these Mephisto theories, but it's also been heavily rumored, if you've been paying attention to our channel, or really the rumor mill at all, that we're going to see Mephisto in Ironheart, that he's played by Sacha Baron Cohen, and that in fact he's the one who bought the Avengers Tower. Now, as far as Scarlet Witch's return to the MCU, I think there's a better chance than not she's a part of Avengers Secret Wars, and as such, I think there's a really good chance that the theory that's being kicked around that perhaps there's certain Avengers that are standing in for Infinity Stones might actually be in play. Imminent theory video forthcoming, but if you haven't heard that before, remember this is a metaphorical stand-in, and so even though her ties are in many ways to the Mind Stone that gave her her reality warping powers, she would actually be a metaphorical stand-in, I think, for the Reality Stone. Still, if this theory's in play, Marvel Studios would need her in general, and with Avengers Secret Wars being what it is, I don't see them leaving her on the bench with her importance to Marvel thus far, all the way through the Infinity Saga and now early on in Phase 4. So they're going to have her return at some point that isn't her solo film, is basically what I'm taking away from this, to set up that solo film down the road. And interestingly enough, she herself, Elizabeth Olsen, recently said that Marvel didn't really know what to do with her and that she'd only really return if they found a good way to use her. Now, those X-Men storylines are heavy and complicated, and it does find her I don't want to say most of the time, at least half of the time, as a villain in those stories, just the same way she was in Multiverse of Madness. So we'll have to see if she embraces that and which storyline Marvel chooses to go with for her first solo film. But guys, there are a ton of them. I'm not sure which Marvel would pick and choose from. Of course, the whole Magneto thing would have to be either retconned or revealed if that relationship is going to exist. But you guys let me know what you think down below. What is the most compelling storyline they should do, be it House of M, be it in its own storyline in the Mutant Saga with Scarlet Witch? I am all ears as always. Quickly, let's get into the giveaway stuff before I let you go. Alright, still giving away a PS5 at the channel. Easiest way to be entered to win, super simple, just hit the sub button and leave a comment on the video. Because it's truly random, the more videos you comment on, the better chance you have of winning. All winners will be announced at the end of videos, the same way we're doing here, live with my voice and the winning comment when there is one shown on screen. The best way to keep up with the content has always been to hit the notification bell with all notifications turned on, and as always, if you like today's video, I'd appreciate it if you'd hit the like button. My name's Michael Roman. You can find me in a couple of places, Instagram and Twitter at I'mFires. You can also find me on all platforms with original music under the name Allfires. And while I sincerely appreciate you checking my music out, thanks for checking this channel out. Stick around, we'll be posting again real soon.